What's up, guys? Scotty here with Will Ball for Soup, and I'm back at it again with another video. Now, this video is going to be super helpful for anybody who's managing a paintball field, or maybe you're a paintball field owner, and it's related to a dispute I had with the owner of the field that I managed. We had a policy where we're going to accept every single coupon, every single paintball ticket out there, and that really cut our revenue in half. It was kind of ridiculous. We would book a large public group and they'd show up last minute with these tickets, and half of the income, half the revenue that we were expecting would just be gone. And this was a tactical error, and I'm making this video to discuss it with you guys, roll through the actual dollar amount that we've lost, and hopefully some of you out there can watch this video and understand that accepting these tickets is a terrible idea and the owner of our field made a mistake. This video is not going to be about my surprise termination from the paintball field in which I managed. We're about approaching the 2-year anniversary of that. As you can see on the screen grab here, our pricing for recreational paintball is pretty straightforward and pretty standard. We're not out there charging $80 a case, $90 a case, like some of the highest end paintball fields out there. We're charging a reasonable $50 a case, which I'm totally okay with. If you're renting, that's $20 for the full setup, including all day air. If you don't have a rental, all you have to do is just pay $20 to get in, plus your paint. A lot of our regular customers too, we would give them our own coupons, which would cover their entry, so a $20 savings with that coupon. All that stuff is normal. That pricing model is totally fine for paintball. It's affordable enough, but it's still making us some money. Now, what would happen with a paintball ticket? And now our policy was to accept every single paintball ticket. It doesn't matter if it's one of the guys who we partnered with who is giving us a kickback per ticket. It doesn't matter if the paintball ticket is from 10 years ago. It doesn't matter if the people selling the tickets have any affiliation with us. If you had one of the tickets, we were going to accept it. And now what that ticket did was it took the $55, $54 for entry rental and a bag, and it took that all the way down to $22 for entry, rental, and a bag of 500 paintballs. So instead of making 54, we're making 22. And that's just a huge cut into our profit margins. And that was really problematic for us in a number of ways in which we're going to get through in this video. It's really important to understand that there is a gigantic communication breakdown between the people selling the tickets and the customers. And that's because the people selling the tickets, they're not employed by the paintball field. So frequently they would lie to the customer and say, hey, you buy this $5 ticket, you're going to get a $50 paintball experience on the house. There's a catch, but the catch is still a good deal. All you got to do is buy one bag of paint for $15, an all-day air pass for $5, and with tax, that's about $22. So instead of paying $55, you're paying $22. And that's still not enough for some people. Another communication breakdown falls with the verbiage of the ticket. And if you look at it, it says full day use of the playing field. Now, some people are interpreting that as private games for me and my group of 6 people. These people would walk in with the tickets, present them, we'd give them the deal, and then they'd be like, okay, we got to get everybody off the field because we're here with our tickets. We're special. No, you're not special. You're actually causing us to operate with a minimal margin. You're bad for business. And these ticket holders would expect us to clear the field of 20 rec players and get their group of 6 players on the field for their own little private games. They thought that they got private games. They wouldn't get private games. Additionally, they would think that everything was provided, including the paint. No, you have to buy the paint separately. And this communication breakdown would cause tension between us operating the field and the customer. It was just a terrible look for us, and no good things happen with these fucking tickets. So a good counter argument would be, well, maybe they're going to use the ticket once or twice, but once they're hooked on paintball, they're going to become a regular full-paying customer. But that wasn't the case. We had players visit us over the course of the 3-4 years I worked there, and every single time they would show up, they would bring the ticket, cutting our margins in half. I'm not blaming this on the customer. If you're a customer, it's your duty to save as much money as possible, be as thrifty as possible. It's not those guys' fault. It's our fault for letting this ticket thing go for as long as we did. And a lot of the times we'd have these big private groups. So a corporate group, a fraternity, a sorority. We would negotiate a bulk rate for them, and we'd even stay open after hours. We would shut the whole thing down and let these groups have our entire facility to themselves. That's good business. I'm with that. I like that so far. But what they would do is last minute, they would spring the tickets on us and say, okay, I know we negotiated this price, but now we have these tickets. What can you do for me, Scotty? And I'd be like, holy shit, why didn't you tell me earlier? So I would be put in a position where I would have to come even lower than our group rate prices because they're springing the tickets on me last minute. It's like when you're negotiating for a car, right? You want to get the car as low as possible. You want to get your finance rate as low as possible. And then in the last minute, you say, oh, hey, I got that trade-in the lot. Let's integrate the trade into the deal. So it's not the customer's fault for trying to get a good deal. It's our fault for being so dumb and exploitable, where we'd have customers use these tickets for years at a time, and we'd have these big corporate groups who we would expect to pay full price. But you know what? Nope. We have the tickets in our back pocket. Fuck you guys, we're getting half off. Now, imagine if you're having a reunion with you and your college friends. You get like 8 to 10 people, you round them up, and you're going to make a reservation at my paintball field. You show up, you start paying. Now, 3 or 4 of you guys got the tickets. You know what's up. So you're paying only $22 for entry, rental, and a bag. The other 7 people, they're paying $54 for entry, rental, and a bag. So the people who don't have the tickets are thinking that we fucking scammed them because we're not making them aware of the tickets. Obviously, when you're booking with me, I'm not going to make you aware of those discounts. We already have a bulk discount built in. If you get us 8 to 10 people, we can drop entry and rental down from $40 to $30. But no, they want entry, rental, and a bag for $22. And they're like, well, we only have 5 tickets, but there's 8 of us. Can you give all 8 of us the ticket price, Scotty? No, I can't, because I hate those tickets and I hate you. I don't really hate you. But it was a very high tension moment that was built into our policy. Because we're accepting any and all tickets, these people would dig out their tickets from their junk drawer, come in once a year and get 50% off, while other people in the group didn't have the tickets, and that eroded the trust that the customers had in us. So we'd have some people in the same group paying $54, while others in the same group were only paying $22. And the tickets themselves, they're only $3 to $5 a ticket. And I know the owner told me that we were getting a small kickback from the tickets, but if we're selling the tickets at $3 to $5, what's our kickback? $1, Bob? We're getting a $1 ticket, and I know Bob was the regional manager who fired me. Now would be a great time to go down in the comments and let me know what your field's policy is with these tickets, especially if you're employed in the industry, if you're a field manager, field owner. Let me know if you guys accept the tickets, and additionally go down in the comments and let me know what type of discount the tickets provide, what type of kickback you get. Let's talk about this. Maybe this thing does actually work for some people, but from my perspective, we left a ton of money on the table, and this was a major catastrophe because every single day we were open, we would have about 30 to 40% of our customers bring in these tickets. And because we were so accepting, doesn't matter who made the ticket, doesn't matter how old the ticket was, we're going to take it, and we're going to take your recreational paintball price per person down from $54 to $22. And that's just a ton of money to leave on the table for a field that was desperately in need of improvements, as you guys can tell from this footage. So when you have a policy that involves accepting every single coupon that comes your way, there are going to be people who are at home and they're going to come in with these illegitimate bootleg paintball tickets. And that happened almost every week. So a lot of the sellers of the tickets would be based out of OfferUp or Craigslist. And they'd be like, you know what? $2 a paintball ticket. You can cut your paintball bill in half by buying my $2 tickets. And these people would just print out the image of a ticket at home, cut it with a scissors, and you could tell these things weren't even cut straight, and they'd mail it off to mom or dad, who would walk in with these tickets expecting us to honor them, and we did honor them. So there were other outsiders taking advantage of our generosity and making these fake tickets that our customers regularly purchased. I'm not against discounts. Having a Groupon is a great idea, especially because that's managed by the people who work for the field. But with our policy where we're accepting everything, we would get these bootleg tickets and we'd be forced to accept them, and there'd be some random fucking loser on Craigslist making $10 just printing out a piece of printer paper and giving it a little chop, chop, chop. That's outrageous. The thing that I do have to end this video on is my long-term plans to get back into the paintball industry. The Will Ball for Soup media project is popping off. The Instagram page views are insane. I wake up most days with more DMs than I could even respond to. And on top of that, the quality of the people who are DMing me, the quality of my sources that I do the breaking news element of this with, those people have gotten better and better. The network has expanded significantly. But my overarching goal for everything is to keep working in the corporate world, keep grinding titles and promotions. And when the 401k is maxed out, a lot of people just say, oh, it's my retirement. That's not my retirement. That's my get back into the paintball industry money. Myself, as well as my allies, including people who I've came up with, people I've known for 10, 20 years in paintball. I'm getting old, dude. I'm getting a little old. We're going to get back together when this is all said and done, and we're going to open up an indoor field in the greater Phoenix metropolitan area, and we're going to do things right. And executive decisions like this that require thought, I'm going to be in charge of those decisions, and I'm going to make the right call. And my call is that we're not going to have outside coupons. Any discounts or any coupons, they're going to come from us who work at the field. We can make our own Groupons. We can sell our own discount tickets. By all means, that's great. I love promotions. But that type of thing has to be managed by people who are working for the field, and that way you can set clear expectations with the customer. I know this has been this has been on the back of my mind for 2 years. I've been wanting to say this stuff for a very long time. And I even held off of saying this stuff while I was still employed. The surprise termination came down, and it took me a bit to rebuild my life and even get back to this point where I have enough free time where I can comfortably hop on the mic and talk to you guys about paintball, which is still my favorite thing in the world. So for those of you guys who are still with this business, the ones who fired me, hey, I'm not going anywhere. The network has grown, my influence has grown, and I'm going to work really fucking hard and get back into the paintball industry, open up my own field, and put you bums out of business. That's just my fucking truth. That's the truth, guys. Will Ball for Soup, Scotty, another video. I'm hoping for about one video a month. That would be great, especially because I've kind of toned down the editing a little bit. This is just some images, photos, videos I've taken at the field showing the questionable condition of the field. Let's put it that way. But all right, guys, Scotty with Will Ball for Soup signing out. Wow, another video upload. Follow me on Instagram for all the breaking news and everything in between.